Hi students, coming to the next topic is cell cycle. This topic is very important for NEET examination. After NEET examination also, those who are preparing for those who are preparing MBBS examination, that time also the cell cycle topic is important. Even in research also, the cell cycle topic is very important because cell cycle involved in the new cells production or daughter cells production. See one example, if the cell cycle is controlled, involved in the growth of the organism. If the cell cycle, uncontrolled, there is nothing but cancer. There is nothing but cancer. So what I'm telling, cell cycle is very important topic. Either intermediate level, either MBBS level, either in research level. Right? So today we are going to discuss about basic level of cell cycle. Next class onwards, we will discuss about the detailed explanation regarding to the cell cycle. Today just we will discuss about the basic level of the cell cycle. Basic level of the cell cycle. Right? See, within cell cycle, there is two major phases are there. One of the phase is called as interphase, other phase is called as mitotic phase. The very first phase is called as interphase, other phase is called as mitotic phase. See, the concept is, this is the one of the cell, right? The cell involved in the cell division process. The cell involved in the cell division process, right? So one cell produces the two cells. One cell produces the two cells. So here cell cycle means during cell division process, some of the events are occurs in a cyclic manner. Some of the events are occurs in a cyclic manner. So that's the reason why this one is called as cell cycle. That's the reason why this one is called as cell cycle. Very easy to understand. See, during cell division process, some of the events are occurs. These events are for every cell division. In a cyclic manner occurs. That's the reason why these are called as cell cycle events. Cell cycle events. For the completion of cell cycle, all these events are must and should be completed. Or for the production of new daughter cells, all these events are must and should be completed. Right? So here cell cycle is there. Cell cycle, this is about that cell division. The events are called as cell cycle events. Now we are discussing about cell cycle events. Within cell cycle process, basically two major phases are there. One of the phase is called as interphase. Other one is called as mitotic phase. One of the phase is called as interphase. Other phase is called as mitotic phase. Remember, the mitotic phase indicates here mitosis. Mitotic phase indicates here mitosis. For suppose, if we removes the mitotic here, if we kept the meiosis, so the cell cycle is related to meiosis. So here mitotic phase is present. So this one is related to mitosis. So this one is mitosis. The cell cycle related to mitosis. This one is meiosis. The cell cycle is related to meiosis. So what I am telling here, in mitosis process, in mitotic cell division process, definitely G1 phase, S phase, G2 phase is there. G1 phase, S phase, G2 phase. That is nothing but interphase is there. In mitosis process, interphase is present. In meiosis process, interphase is present. So in mitosis and meiosis, in both the cases, interphase is definitely present. So that is about the mitosis and the meiosis. So here this phase is called as interphase. Interphase is also called non-apparent phase. Interphase is also called non-apparent phase. Interphase is called as non-apparent phase. Right? Mitotic phase is called as, this is the mitotic phase. mitotic phase is called as apparent phase. Right? So this one is called as non-apparent phase. This one is called as apparent phase. Sir, why interphase is called as non-apparent phase? Why mitotic phase is called as apparent phase? First of all, okay, we had to discuss about the non-apparent and apparent. So what is the meaning of apparent? What is the meaning of apparent? Apparent means different. Apparent means different. Apparent indicates here different. Apparent indicates here different. Non-apparent means not different. Non-apparent means not different. So what is not different? What is different? Some students have the doubt like this. See, mitotic phase is different. Interphase is not different. Means in mitotic phase there is a nucleus division takes place. Nucleus division takes place. In mitotic phase, cytoplasm division takes place. So, in mitotic phase, one nucleus during cell division process, this is the cell. Okay, this is the mitotic phase, right? Within mitotic phase, one nucleus produces two nucleus, right? In mitotic phase, one cell produces two cells. One cell produces two cells. So, this phase is different. This phase is different, right? But in interphase, there is no nucleus formation. There is no new nucleus formation. There is no new daughter cells formation. So this is very normal phase. This is very normal phase. That's the reason why interphase is called as non-apparent phase. Mitotic phase is called as apparent phase. Mitotic phase is called as apparent phase, right? So apparent indicates here different. Non-apparent means this is the normal phase, because within interphase there is no nucleus division, there is no cytoplasm division, right? So that is about non-apparent and apparent phases. And remember, during cell division process, one of the best example, human cell. We are discussing about the human cell, right? The human cell, for the completion of the cell division, requires 24 hours. 24 hours. Within human cells, okay, especially the body cells are there, right? Maybe the skin cell, maybe the heart cell, maybe the liver cell. For the completion of one cell cycle, 24 hours are required. 24 hours are required. Remember, in that 24 hours, more than 95% of the time, 95% of the time is taken by the interphase. More than 95. Okay, not the 95. More than 95 time is taken by the interphase. Means, remember, 23 hours taken by the interphase. Right? Only 1 hour is taken by the mitotic phase. Only 1 hour is taken by the mitotic phase. So that's the one of the difference. Okay? See here, interphase takes maximum time. For mitotic phase, minimum time is sufficient. So why interphase is normal phase? Why interphase here normal phase? We know already answer. There is no nucleus division. There is no cytoplasm division. So then what is the use of interphase? See, here the concept is very easy here. See, interphase is there. Within interphase again 3 phases are there. G1 phase, S phase, G2 phase. G1 phase, S phase, and next one is the G2 phase. Right? See, these three stages are orderly occurs. First one is always G1 phase. Next one is always S phase. Next one is always G2 phase. So first phase is G1 phase. Next phase is S phase. Next phase is the G2 phase. See, sir, in G1 phase, what happens? In G1 phase, then what is the use of G1 phase? In G1 phase, protein synthesis takes place. In G1 phase, protein synthesis takes place. protein synthesis takes place. In S phase, S indicates here synthesis phase. Which one is synthesized? DNA synthesis takes place. In S phase, DNA synthesis takes place. Right? In G2 phase, here again protein synthesis takes place. Proteins, synthesis takes place. So, in S phase, this is a very important phase. S phase is very important phase. In S phase, DNA synthesis takes place. In S phase, DNA synthesis takes place. So, what happens in G1 phase? See, proteins are synthesized. Remember, proteins are nothing but enzymes. Proteins are nothing but here enzymes. See, okay, whatever the enzymes which are required for the DNA synthesis, right? All these enzymes are synthesized in G1 phase. Enzymes which are required for DNA replication. Okay, all these enzymes are synthesized in which phase? G1 phase. In G1 phase, enzymes are synthesized. Okay, these enzymes are especially involved in the DNA synthesis, That's the reason why the G1 phase. Actually, sir, why this one is called as G1? Why this one is called as G2? See, G1 indicates here gap 1. G1 indicates here gap 1 phase. G2 indicates here, gap 2 phase. G2 indicates here gap 2 phase. Right? So, G1 phase involved in synthesis of enzymes which are involved in the DNA synthesis process or DNA replication process. DNA replication is nothing but synthesis of DNA from DNA. Okay, within the nucleus, this is the DNA is present. Okay, this is one set of copy, right? Again, the copy, okay, replicated. That is nothing but another copy synthesized. By the usage of this copy, another copy is synthesized, right? That is nothing but Xerox. Or suppose one of your friend have one notes, right? Other student is absent 10 days or 15 days. That time, most of the students are like to take the Xerox. So same copy taken. So here also within the nucleus, generally one set of chromosomes are there, right? See, these are the set of the chromosomes which are involved in the DNA replication. So same set is produced. That is nothing but replication process. Replica is nothing but copy. So in S phase, DNA synthesis takes place. In G2 phase, again protein synthesis takes place. So G1 phase is also called pre-DNA synthesis phase. Pre-DNA synthesis phase. G1 phase is also called pre-DNA synthesis phase because the phase completed before the DNA synthesis. That's the reason why pre-DNA synthesis phase. This is DNA synthesis phase. And next one is G2 phase. This phase is also called post-DNA synthesis phase. Post-DNA synthesis phase. Right? So G1 phase is there, S phase is there, G2 phase is there. Right? These are the phases are completely related to the interphase. Remember these phases, okay, these three phases present in interphase, okay, maximum time is taken for the completion of interphase. Maximum time is taken. It's nothing but 24 hours are required for the completion of the cell division. In that 23 hours are taken by the interphase, right? So that is about the interphase. Coming to the next one is mitotic phase. We already discussed mitotic phase involved in the division, right? So how the division takes place we discussed now. Yeah. Within meiotic phase, very first one is the karyokinesis. Very first one is the karyokinesis. Sir, karyokinesis means what? Karyokinesis indicates division of nucleus. Division of nucleus is called as karyokinesis. So how the division of nucleus is occurred, or how the nucleus division is carried out? See, the very first phase is called as prophase. The very first phase within karyokinesis, right? Prophase. Karyokinesis first phase is the prophase. Next phase is the metaphase. Next phase is the metaphase, right? Next one is the anaphase. Next one is anaphase. Right? Last one is the telophase. Last one is the telophase. So these are the phases. These are the phases which occur in karyokinesis. I thought most of the students are well known about prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Again, just a peripheral explanation I given today. Right? Later we'll discuss the detailed explanation. Prophase is nothing but this is the cell, this is the nucleus. Initially, the genetic material is decondensed state. Initially, the genetic material is decondensed state. Okay, at the late prophase or end of the prophase, the genetic material condensation takes place. The genetic material condensation takes place. That is nothing but chromosome formation. That is nothing but the chromosome formation. So, end of the prophase, chromosome formation takes place. The nuclear membrane is ready to disappear. The nuclear membrane is ready to disappear. Right? And coming to the next one, metaphase. In metaphase, whatever the chromosomes are there, all these chromosomes are arranged on cell equatorial plate or center of the cell. All the chromosomes are arranged at the center of the cell. So this phase is called as metaphase. This phase is called as metaphase. Coming to the anaphase, here anaphase indicates whatever that chromosomes are there, the chromosome, this is one of the chromosome, right? The chromosome division takes place. The chromosome division takes place. So once the division takes place, the chromosomes are moving towards the opposite pole side. Ana indicates here movement. Ana indicates here movement of chromosomes, right? So Ana, that is nothing but movement, right? Phase indicates here movement of chromosomes. So the chromosomes are moving towards the opposite pole side. The chromosomes are moving towards the opposite pole side. See, telophase means once the chromosomes are reaches the opposite pole side, nuclear membrane formation takes place. Then decondensation of genetic material. Decondensation of genetic material. One cell contains here two nucleus. Here one cell contains the two nucleus. So the phase is called as telophase. Telo indicates end. Telo indicates here end. So prophase, chromosome formation, right? Chromosome formation takes place. That is nothing but this is the genetic material. The chromosome formation takes place. Metaphase, all chromosomes are arranged at the center of the cell. Meta indicates here center. Ana indicates here movement of chromosomes. Chromosomes are moving towards the opposite pole side. Telo indicates here end. Once the chromosomes are reaches the opposite pole side, two nucleus are formed. These are nothing but daughter nucleus. Within one cell, two nucleus are present. That is about the telophase. So here, what I said, karyokinesis. Karyokinesis indicates division of nucleus. So in prophase, how many number of nucleus are present? One nucleus, right? In telophase, how many number of nucleus are present? Two nucleus. So what happened here? Nucleus division takes place. Nucleus division takes place. Division of nucleus is called as karyokinesis. Division of nucleus is called as karyokinesis, right? So that is about the karyokinesis. So this is the cell. The cell contains here two nucleus, right? Coming to the next one is the cytokinesis. Cytokinesis is nothing but division of cytoplasm. Division of cytoplasm. Sir, how the cytoplasm division takes place? See, this is the cell. Here, Okay, there is in separation of cytoplasm takes place. There is in separation of cytoplasm takes place. So the cells contains the cytoplasm division takes place. See, remember here, plant cell cytoplasm, okay, plant cell cytokinesis process is different from animal cell cytokinesis process. See, there is in two different methods are there. We'll discuss. One is called as cell furrow method, right? The cell furrow method takes place in animal cell, right? In plant cell plate method takes place. So we'll discuss what is cell furrow method, what is cell plate method. We'll discuss later, right? So here, initially nucleus division takes place. After that, cytoplasm division takes place. Finally, one cell produces the two daughter cells. One cell produces the two daughter cells. So that is about the cytokinesis. So these are the events, okay, occurs in a cyclic manner. These are the events that occurs in a cyclic manner. For suppose one cell produces two cells. Again, these are involved in the cell division. One cell produces two cells. Again, these two are involved, right? These two are produces 4. Again, these 4 are involved, right? 8. So continuously number of cells are increased. So this is about that peripheral explanation, not completed. Next one we'll discuss about each phase and the time is taken by the each phase, right? We'll discuss now. Yeah, this is about different stages of the cell cycles. We are already known. The very first phase is called as G1 phase. That is nothing but gap 1 phase. The phase is nothing but the gap 1 phase, right? The very first phase is the gap 1 phase. The time taken by the gap 1 phase is the 5 to 7 hours, right? And next one is the S phase. Remember, within cell cycle, maximum time is taken by the S phase. Sir, why S phase takes maximum time? Because the S phase involved in DNA synthesis process. S phase involved in the DNA synthesis process. That's the reason why maximum time is taken by the S phase. The time period is here 7 to 11 hours. Coming to the next one is the G2 phase. Here G2 phase indicates gap 2 phase. So gap 2 phase takes the time 3 to 5 hours. 3 to 5 hours are taken by the gap 2 phase, right? So G1 phase, S phase, G2 phase. These three phases, see, this is the starting point. These three phases are called as interphase. Right? Coming to the mitotic phase. These three phases, for the completion of these three phases, the time is taken 23 hours. For mitotic phase, only 1 hour is sufficient. Remember here, the very first phase in mitotic phase is the prophase. We know first one is the prophase. The very first phase is the prophase. Next phase is the metaphase. Next phase is the anaphase. Right? Next phase is the telophase. Next one is telophase. Right? See, within mitotic phase, one of the phase is called as karyokinesis. Karyokinesis is nothing but division of nucleus. In that phase, 4 phases are there: prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. After that, one of the phase in mitotic phase is cytokinesis. One of the phases called as cytokinesis. So these are the phases. Are present. So these phases are related to the karyokinesis and the cytokinesis. See, the karyokinesis and cytokinesis are related to mitotic phase. Karyokinesis, cytokinesis are related to mitotic phase, right? So if these phases are completed, completed. One cell produces the two daughter cells. One cell produces the two daughter cells. If these phases are completed, so end of the cytokinesis, see there is a two daughter cells are produced. There is a two daughter cells are produced. See, some cells are continuously involved in the cell division. Some cells are always continuously involved in the cell division. One of the best example is plant cells contains meristematic cells. Meristematic cells. And humans or different animals, embryonic cells. Embryonic cells and meristematic cells which are continuously involved in the cell division. Which are continuously involved in the cell division. But some cells are not continuously involved in the cell division. Some cells are not continuously involved in the cell division. See, first of all, this is the one cell. This is the one cell entered, produces the two cells. This is the one cell, right? That cell involved in the cell cycle produces the two cells. In certain cases, again these are involved in the cell cycle. The two cells are involved in the cell cycle, right? Four cells are produced. End of the second cycle, four cells are produced. So, if cells are continuously involved in the cell division, these events are cyclically takes place. But some cells are not continuously involved in the cell cycle. But some cells are not continuously involved in the cell cycle. See, which are enter into the very special phase. The phase is called as G0 phase. The phase is called as G0 phase. Here G0 phase is also called quiescent phase. G0 phase is also called quiescent phase. Why the quiescent phase or G0 phase is very special? Some of the cells, once the cells completed the cell division process, which are not directly enter into the cell cycle. Again, which are not directly enter into the cell cycle. Which are moving out from the cell cycle. Actually, G0 phase is not related to cell cycle. The phase out of cell cycle. Right? So, in G0 phase, whatever the cells are there, which are not involved in the cell division process. G0 phase, whatever the cells are present, the cells are not involved in cell division. Again, when these are entering to G1 phase, when the G0 phase cells are entering to G1 phase, then these are involved in the cell division. So what I am telling here, whatever the cells which are present in G0 phase, right? In that case, normal metabolic activities are takes place. Right? But the metabolic activities which are related to the cell division, which are not takes place. The metabolic activities which are related to the cell division, which are not takes place. So means what? See, enzyme synthesis. Enzyme synthesis means DNA replication enzyme synthesis, S phase, right? And gap 2 phase, right? Prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, right? All these metabolic activities are not takes place. But normal metabolic activities means the cell requires energy, ATP production, glycolysis, TC cycle, all these are related to the normal metabolic activities. So, whatever the cells which are present in G0 phase, the cells are metabolically active. But the metabolism which is required for the cell division, that metabolism is not takes place. Normal metabolism is takes place. In a cell, Okay, the cell present in the G0 phase. In that cell, normal metabolic activities takes place. The metabolism required for the cell cycle which are not takes place. Right? That is about the G0 phase. Sir, which cells are entering to G0 phase? Okay, I already said once the cell division is completed, some of the cells are entering to the G0 phase. Up to certain time period, the cells are existing in G0 phase. When again the cells are required, that time these two cells are entered to the gap phase, right? That is gap 1 phase, S phase, G2 phase, again involved in the cell division, right? See, sir, which cells are involved in, which cells are entering to quiescent stage or G0 phase? Best example is the nerve cells. Nerve cells. See, whatever that our body contains, the nerve cells are there, always these are existing in G0 phase. See, when we are born, that time how many neurons are present within the human body? The same neurons are maintained up to the end of the lifespan. Mostly the number of neurons are decreased. There is no chance for the increase. What I am telling, for suppose one baby, okay, after delivery, the baby contains neurons are 1 billion neurons. End of the lifespan also mostly maintain 1 billion or below the 1 billion. Sir, how this is possible? See, during embryonic stage also, the neurons are involved in the cell division. During embryonic stage only, the neurons are involved in the cell division, right? Once the mature baby produced, in that case there is no neuron cell division process. Best example is the nerve cells, I said, right? Nerve cells are always existing in G0 phase. And one more best example is the heart cells. For suppose here one of the, we know about the heart structure, right? Inside whatever the rib cage is there, inside that rib there is a heart is there, right? This is like our fist size, right? Like this. See, the heart always involved in the contraction and the relaxation. I said here heart cells are entering to the G0 phase. If the heart cells are not entering to the G0 phase, continuously inside the rib cage, see, inside the ribs, the heart size is continuously increased. So if the heart is continuously increased, the space is not sufficient. So that's the reason why how much size is needed, or how many number of cells are needed to the heart, and finally heart maintains one particular shape. That number of cell divisions are completed, then the cells are entering to the G0 phase. Again, is there any cells are died, for the replacement purpose? Again, the surrounding cells are entering to the G1 phase. Again, cell division takes place. So the concept is very, very simple. Within some organs, limited number of cell divisions are required. In that case, the cells are entering to the G0 phase. Examples are here, nerve cells and the heart cells. So that is about the cell cycle. Remember, within human cell, for the completion of the cell division, for the completion of cell division, 24 hours are required. Yeast cell, for the completion of the cell division, 90 minutes are required, right? For the bacteria cell, for the completion of cell division, that is nothing but binary fission, requires 20 minutes. So that is about some of the cells, duration required for the cell division. This is the basic explanation. In the next class we'll discuss about deeply, right, each and every point regarding to the G1 phase, regarding to the S phase, regarding to the G2 phase, regarding to the interphase, right, and mitotic phase, right? We'll discuss in the next class.